Hello again. Welcome to our show where we get together weekly and talk about one of our favorite mutual shows, Survivor. We're just going to have a little chit chat here. So, interesting week. I think we have two people who are not too upset, maybe one person that's a little bit upset. So,
A little bit upset. I'm massively upset. It's a sad day. It is the saddest Survivor day of the season 41 since
I'm
Brad
not.
left.
Do you know what? You want to know why? Because he gave massive shout outs to the Cowboys and nothing to the Bears. And I was like,
He mentioned
he was like
played
1
for
year
the
at the Bears. You know what? Get out of here. He seemed way more proud that he played for the Cowboys. So
We played for him for 6 years. So
5.
They got the final salute in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. And no, because I don't know. Just
wow.
I know a guy who lives in my neighborhood who played on the Cowboys about the same time. I wonder if he knew him. I'll have to ask him.
Well, it was really weird because if you see the hidden clip, he actually says like, "Go Cowboys!" Sorry, Gott.
My biggest fan. So it was a good episode though, right?
It was. It's why we
really
watched
was.
the show. It's absolutely the kind of episode is why we watched the show.
Yeah.
Ricard was going home. His back was up against the wall. There was no saving him, and he wins.
Well, you start to see the all the brains of all the other players getting together and confirming like, right, he's got to go, right? Yes, he's got to go. Okay. And so you start to see all the foundations being laid, and it looks like
we got a nice little. We got all these clips of these little like mini ports into all of the conversations that were happening. It seems like it's been a season where we haven't really. I mean, we've got a bit of that, but it was heavy in this one. Like
and
this
them
conversation,
just interaction, just to see. Right. So after everything that was said with Erica and her former tribe mates, Deshaun tries to make a little thing with her and then goes back and doesn't. He likes her, then he doesn't like. Then he does. Deshaun and Erica. Come on.
Maybe he does like her. Maybe he's like the little boy in 4th grade that pulls the girl's hair.
Those are pigtails, right?
Yeah. Something.
I think that he's always like been fine, whatever with her, really. But I think that she's, for whatever reason, I mean, we're the viewers, we're not there, but it seems like they all view her as someone who's like playing her game really close to her hip. You know, to us, she doesn't. To us, she just seems sort of shady, maybe, or like wishy-washy at best.
See, I don't find her shady. I
don't really find her shady. She hasn't really like screwed anyone's loyalties over. Really,
it's just
like they can't get a read on her, and I think that they can't stand.
They don't spend any time talking to her.
I'm still waiting for all the smartness to come out.
Well, I think
I keep hearing about it.
Really?
So I think she's done one really smart thing where she split the votes. Other than that,
she did that. Yeah.
I can't get. I mean, does she have another move? Does she have another? I mean, she turned back time in the most incredibly.
That's powerful.
Obvious
that is
thing.
Some powerful magic.
But I'm saying
that's 4-year magic, David.
I mean, yeah, but anybody would have done that. Literally, you're on the bottom. You get sent to an island. If you don't do it, you're going home.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it's like she's had these amazing moves, but when she is talking to someone, she's able to articulate a logical reason for whoever it is she thinks they should vote for.
But that's a pretty low bar.
But I also think this is the one place where Erica isn't getting. I'm not going to give her credit because I don't know where her game is. I'm not saying one way or the other. I don't think that she's a bad player. She's still there. I think she's contributed more than Heather has.
Yeah.
However,
to compare her and
Heather has contributed nothing.
She is lapping Heather. Okay, let's be honest. Compared to Heather,
flat out that she and Heather are playing the exact same game, and I'm not sure she's wrong.
But this is the one place where I will say, just keep an open mind for like a half a minute about Erica. is we never saw anything about her until Merge because her tribe didn't have to cut each other up.
True. That's true.
There was nothing to show us because it was
Mhm.
never her tribe going home, like
Yeah.
or going to tribal. So that really cut. It was the Shan show the first half of the season. So there was no
You didn't
opportunity
get to
to
see any
see what Erica
strategy or
could do.
anything. Yeah.
That being said,
And
that
David, if you
doesn't
trust your
mean
boy Danny, she's a massive threat. He really thought she was a threat. Okay, I'm
oh
just
man,
saying.
he was after her.
Danny was
But
like, she's got to go.
But I mean, is it good gameplay or is it that she was on the right tribe and she didn't have to play until it's tough. I'm not
She's
going to
not
dog
the
her
first
too much, but
she's not the first contestant to try to play a floater game.
no, no,
And
never,
you know,
and
I
won't
mean,
be the last.
I mean, Big Brother's famous for it, right?
Yeah, I don't
I
have
mean, she's not a lay on the couch floater.
no,
Okay, she's not.
no,
She's not a Heather floater. Heather
no.
is the for real floater. So she did seem to do more than that. She seemed to have some energy to
Heather
scramble a little
actually
bit.
got out of the water during the challenge when she was supposed to be retrieving balls and like just
Yes.
sat down.
And
I'm just
she's
gonna sit here. I'm just gonna
rest
sit right
now.
here. I'm just gonna melt on this dock right here. And
Like
Jeff's like, what an interesting strategy.
I just wonder if she was so wore out from treading water, like maybe she didn't position herself at the beginning and then she just ran out of energy so quickly where she really needs to be somewhere
But
where
it was like
could
one
feel them
shot into
to her
the,
and then,
it was
yeah.
one or like two shots into the thing. She could have been treading water for a minute and a half.
I don't think she has 2 minutes in her.
Yeah, but then go to the little thing and hang on it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Keep your hand there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But like, I mean, and I also have to say, okay, she had to make it up the rope ramp, jump off, and then swim because she didn't even have to get the ball because they were like grabbing it for her and they pulled her out of the water.
mhm.
Like, so she didn't have to do that by herself. But by the time she got there, she was done. She was done for. I started laughing so much when Danny's like trying so hard. I'm like, this is not his sport. This is not Danny's sport.
No, well,
he's not doing awesome at this.
when they started him, doing shooting baskets, and I was like, what's going on? Yeah, poor guy. That's all right. We all have skills, and it's good to
Yep.
know them because you don't want to set yourself up to
I'll
be
tell you what, though, he flew up
muddy
that
and then you
rope,
miss because that's
flying up that rope ramp. Am I the only one that gets like real cringy and stuff whenever there's like the netting, the rope netting? Because if you've ever been on that stuff, if you slide, that just tears your skin up. It's bad on the shins. When
And
I
it's-
see someone run on it, it makes me so nervous.
there's no way to really run on it. Your
No.
leg is going to go through one. Like you have to.
And your knees are getting all buckled backwards, and there's nothing good about that at all. So when I watch these guys run on it, and I saw Danny just like fly up that, I was like, he's part superhero maybe. But then he tried to play basketball, and I was like, but not at that.
But not at that.
It's funny because what I cringe at is there's this netting, which if you fall into the netting, you're fine. But it's surrounded by wood, and I'm like, somebody's gonna knock their head.
Oh yeah.
You know,
The
they're
frame
gonna go
part.
too hard, they're gonna whack their head. And then they're gonna have to call medical, and then there's no tribal council, and the show's messed up for the week.
And
then what? Then what do we do?
Then
Send
Julie
somebody
Chen
home?
has to then Julie Chen has to marry a new head of CBS. Because those people would be getting a lot of money.
Lots and lots.
A lot of money. Yeah, that was an interesting challenge, but I super knew that they were going to win. I knew it was going to be Xander and Deshawn and Erica it just looked like they were going to be the ones that were going to win.
They were flying. Flying.
Yeah.
They were doing good. No one fell behind.
What did you guys think of their little powwow when they got to eat their chicken and
I
what was
thought
it?
this entire thing is BS.
Was it
on
chicken and
all three.
chicken and vegetables?
Veggies, yeah.
Okay, I was like thinking broccoli, but they're just baby trees. So
yeah, they're just baby trees. Xander is paleo, so that's why we got the whole like this is exactly my type of meal because he's paleo.
Okay.
I'm raising my hand because I don't know what that is.
You don't eat like milk Basically,
Like
it's
zero carbs and
but he had the pizza party thing, so I don't know, did he pull the gross cheese? It could not have been good cheese. It just could not have
no,
been
but
good
at that
cheese.
point, maybe you eat it. Even if you're paleo, you eat it just because you need
Right.
it. You need every
Right.
calorie you can get.
Right.
But he feels more comfortable eating a more paleo diet.
He was pretty pumped. But you
Keeps
know
that-
what we
keeps it
found out?
lean.
He really likes to describe food, or his feelings of food, like when he talks about the roast and the vegetables, it's always about the vegetables. See?
He likes vegetables.
Yes.
I don't know. That might be my love language, Xander. You can talk to me about food. I like that.
Why can't there be a word or a thing for if you just want to eat like beef and pizza and hot dogs? There should be a word like a
Called the
vegan
All
only.
American.
I was
The
gonna say,
All American.
Yeah, but it's called the American.
Yep,
I have an American diet. Or the seafood diet. I see food and I eat it.
Yep. That's me. I
That's
sign
a
up for
little-
that.
Yeah, so they got to talking, and then it seemed like, did you believe that those three were forming an alliance?
No. Not even for a
Did
second.
you believe that what they were saying about how it would be a good one though? Because no one would expect they all would go to the final three with
Sure.
like
but it
different
also-
arguments
It
to
was
make.
actually the perfect move for Xander.
Yeah.
If he could
Right.
have really gotten Erica to do it.
Yeah. Yes.
Because he wins if he
He
takes those
wins,
three.
I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We don't need the interviews. The jury doesn't need to ask questions. It's a done deal. At that point, it's just a done deal. But I mean, I knew this is probably just BS. I don't know. Everyone likes to change their mind a lot this season, but it did make me think about how I mean, we had one alliance of like 4 people for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
But there really hasn't been any it's like the alliances are on 1 week basis only on this shortened game. There's been no long-term alliance.
But do you
It's
think
week to
that's
week to week.
because people they thought should go home didn't go home kind of thing? Where
And
they
it
have to
might
keep-
be
Mhm.
the kind of spin with the powers and all of this different stuff, but you don't see a single person that's like plotting out a long game. Everyone is very focused in on the just to next week, just to next week. And
Mhm.
usually you have 3 or 4 players that are trying to plot out long game.
or
but
at least a
not
couple
this
of weeks. A couple of weeks
Right.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, make a deal with you this
don't
week,
know.
but then next week you're gonna make a deal with me. But
Yeah.
it's everyone for just this week. Just this week.
But you know what? Then that levels the playing field if they're all playing that way. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
all things being equal, then you don't have
Yep.
any powerhouse group that's going to protect each other.
I think it's
Um,
made it a more interesting dynamic. I actually like
I
it
agree.
better.
I agree. Because there's not really, now with Danny gone, there's not really any, oh, these two are solid and been together since the beginning, except for Erica and Heather, and neither one of them is winning. So it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
And the other three that are left, I think the three guys all have really good arguments.
Yes. Yes, they all I mean, it's all different. I mean,
Mhm.
outside of, maybe pulling this one their resume doesn't look like the one sitting next to them. They've all kind of
Mhm.
found their way where they're at using a completely different dynamic in the game. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, but number one is so far and away
yes.
superior to the next two. I mean, if Ricard is sitting there, he wins. There's no question.
Do you
I
still feel like
feel that's
Ricard?
probably true.
Do you still feel like Ricard is far and away doing better game than Xander?
Absolutely.
Do you?
He was going into this week, and he just won and kept himself there.
Oh, yes, with the idol. Yes, I mean winning the immunity.
But that's
Right.
see, and that's the thing but that's a spot for Xander to really pull attention. He has had an idol in his pocket every single week for 6 weeks, and they all know it since he's had it, and he's never played it once, and he still has it.
And he's still there.
And
They
they weren't
couldn't get
even
him to
talking.
flush it. They couldn't get
They
him
didn't even
to.
go, well, what about Xander? Nobody stopped and
But they
no.
did. But they gave up because after trying to flush it 2 times from him, and him being wise to it and doing the right move so that he can maintain his idol, they just went like, all right, well,
Now I mean, if I was sitting in jury knowing everything that I know as somebody who has watched the show and all the things they're doing, if I were to pick one or the other for the winner, yeah, I would probably pick Ricard, no doubt. But as someone sitting in the game, Xander has an excellent resume that with the if the right people were in jury to hear it, he could win it. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
saying that he is. I'm not even saying he deserves it
I think
as
they're
much.
the
but
top two right now, though.
But
Yeah.
if you
If
start counting
you're gonna
jury
make a
votes,
case.
Shanna's already told us who she's voting for. Okay? So she says
But I
she's
don't-
voting for
yeah, but-
Ricard, and
But
based
she says that in that moment while she's mad. So does that mean anything? I mean, you know what I mean?
I don't think she's going to change.
I don't think she's going
I
to
hope she
change. And
doesn't.
this is
She'll take
this is
Liana with her, and Liana's never voting for Xander after he
No.
pulled the fake idol.
No.
So that's 2 votes he's got already.
Well,
and I will say I've watched, if you haven't caught Ponderosa yet, I don't think that Shan is going to change. She's
okay, good.
she's still a little beefy about things. So
Well, I'm glad that she said something that was truthful and not just something hurtful.
right.
Because that could have hurt Ricard's game by putting it, like, oh, shut up, like, thanks, Shan.
Deshaun doesn't need any help having his game hurt. He's good
No.
at it himself.
Whoo,
He does
right?
a really good job. And it's so frustrating because you can watch him talk. Like, we got to see the whole first 15 minutes of this episode was him speaking to all these individual players, having one-on-one conversations, being like really sweet about things, like really getting there,
Like
and
the
then
conversation with him and Heather, the one with him and Heather, where she's like, I had no idea. You could really tell that Heather, for the first time in her life, was getting some information that she was
Heather.
not privy to, and she's like,
Heather.
but that's okay. You know what?
Does she not own a TV?
Well, that's what I'm okay. I'm really glad that you are in a position where you are willing, like, there's no chatter around you. So you
Yeah.
can actually sit and listen and see and have those conversations.
And go
That's
like,
awesome. That's so great that you're willing to take that information in. But how it is the first time in somebody's life to even recognize.
And how old is she?
Well,
How old is she? And where is she
she's in
from?
her 50s, I think.
Um,
Not that
she's
there's
not
anything
high
wrong
up
with
in
that.
her 50s.
No, I'm just wondering but that person in their 50s has a certain level of life experience. Okay, it's
Yeah,
not.
Playing devil's advocate and just arguing for her for a minute is maybe you can be aware of the issues, but never having had somebody who lived it explain it to you directly. That's a whole different experience.
100%. But again, then to me, that seems, I'm sad for her that she's never been in a position to ever be close to someone who can explain it.
Right.
Because that's again, it's
it
like
takes
that's
being
a missed
on.
opportunity, a missed
Well, it's like
experience.
what Danny says. It takes being on an island in the middle of nowhere to get rid of everything, all the distraction, to be able to have that moment.
Mm-hmm.
To have the moment of realization of who you are.
And
with
her connections
somebody else.
that she's already built with them to
Right.
kind of have it mean something.
Yes.
And Deshaun, I found totally authentic in that moment. I
Sure.
don't think it was contrived. I don't think it was a wave.
I just
for
think
attention
Deshaun
or-
has poor reactive.
No, he does. He does.
And that's it. You know what I mean? I think he's a good man, a smart man who's just got some heavy reactives. He doesn't think them out very well.
Okay.
I could
looked
see
it up.
her never having that experience in her life.
She's 52 and she's from Charleston, South Carolina.
Yes.
I just wanted to see what part of the country was she from. So
Historically, the
bless her
information is
pea-picking
there.
little heart.
bless her heart. So I hope that she then now has a different point of view and can her world is expanded in such, because that kind of growth is really
And
beneficial.
honestly, truth be told, where she lives in the country is filled with many, many historical moments that she now maybe will be more interested in or have see in a different view, which would be great.
Maybe I need to think on that again a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe
different coming from a different place when you can maybe take a minute and see it through somebody else's perspective.
And she seemed very sincere when she was talking
Oh,
to him.
absolutely.
She didn't seem like she was placating him or patronizing him, but rather, she really was legitimately saying,
She was as legitimate about that as she was when she leaned over and said, I sure hope I'm still here tomorrow.
Oh, Heather.
Heather.
Um,
Sweet dear Heather. She
so
tries. She's trying, man. She's trying.
okay,
So
so 15
Deshaun
minutes, that was
gets
about the first 15 minutes, wasn't it? Because I did
right.
they not I don't think they had the
Yeah, no.
opening thing last night.
No, we went like 15 minutes of Deshaun's talking to this person, and then we're talking to this person, and then we're talking to this person because one, we need to make sure that we all see Deshaun for who he is and not how he reacts. And two, we need to see that there's a reason why this conversation happened in Tribal last week, and we need to get our general CBS viewer on board with what's
Right.
happening.
Correct.
So,
But am I wrong? Did we have the title last night? Did they play the theme song and stuff? I kept waiting for it, and I don't remember them doing it at
I
all.
don't remember. It's like putting on a seatbelt, so I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like
I don't remember it.
kind of
I
goes.
watch it live over antenna TV, so I can't pause or anything or fast forward through anything. So I think that I don't remember it last night. And I remember kept looking
I
at the clock
usually
going,
jump the first like
"Right."
4 commercial breaks. So
Well, no, I use all of those things to kind of see how this show's plotting out, right? Just
right.
like when they get to Tribal and it's,
Yeah, they still got 40
35
minutes.
minutes, you're like, excuse me, this could be a hot button. But they had a normal Tribal last night. It was just at the 15-minute, quarter till mark. So that we got, like we said, more interaction between the players, and with only 6 of them left, we finally got to see some interaction there. And that was good.
No family letters, no Zoom meetings, no.
But Deshaun wanted a letter.
I know.
That
He
was
wasn't
pretty
wrong. He
And I
wasn't
thought-
wrong.
But the thing is like, I guess a letter would happen before the family member that comes and plays, right? Because they're not going to do that with COVID.
Yeah,
and
they
everything.
won't do that with COVID.
But-
Do you think that Jeff yelled about that? Do you think that do you think that he was like, Deshaun, this is stop telling me what
This is not your show, Deshaun.
this isn't it. No, you're not
This
in
is not
charge.
the Deshaun show. But why haven't they had why wouldn't they get a letter or something by now?
I know. Do you think they just aren't going to do it
Maybe they're
until
not.
next week, or they
Which-
won't do it at all?
Oof, that's a
I mean,
new-
it's a shortened time. We've got what,
Yeah.
like 10 or 11 less days.
Well, technically yes, but they would have had to quarantine before that because
that's
of COVID.
true. They've had
they
2
probably
weeks
have-
quarantine before.
They've probably still been away from their family the same amount of time as
Yeah.
they would have anyway, probably, right? Or maybe more. I don't know.
See, I always find that I would be bummed out if they don't have something, because the thing that I always like most about the family visit isn't just the visit. I mean, sometimes you get some sweet moments. It's that like there's always somebody who wins who has to pick 2 or 3 other people to get to spend the day with their family.
Mhm.
And I know I could say that now because I'm not doing it, but like to me, that is the perfect opportunity to give a hug to your loved one and say, I'm stepping out and giving it to this person, because it's not food. It's something entirely different. It's like this emotional
Yeah.
thing that food is gone the next day.
So do
Like,
you mean
this
it's
is a-
like to build alliances and
Yeah.
trust? and
Yeah.
stuff,
Like
yeah.
to me, it's like,
I don't know. You wouldn't?
what's that?
I would totally do that. I don't care.
Oh,
I'll see him when I see him. It's fine.
Right. Exactly. Bye. Love you.
Um,
Bye.
But feed the bird.
Feed the bird. Walk the dogs. See you later.
Yeah, I don't know though. This season seems kind of savvy though. I think anyone would be suspicious of anyone who did that.
Oh yeah,
though.
that's not
You
gonna.
know what I mean?
There's
No.
nothing's gonna work with these
It'd be
guys.
like, why are you sitting
You'd
there?
have to pick the right person. If you picked Deshaun, who's 100% emotion, he would just love you. He just wouldn't even stop to think about your motivation. He'd just be like, oh, I just love this person.
Erica,
Yeah.
maybe no. Heather, you could get Heather if you did that for Heather. I think you.
And
could
it was
get
like
Heather.
one of her kids or something. Yeah.
Right. Not
Mhm.
Erica though. I think Erica would be on it. Yeah, there's no way.
Eric
Card
would
would be
probably like, stop it, you're
You
messing
could-
up my game.
You
Right?
could probably get Xander that way because he's got a lot of emotion going on.
He's a softie.
He is
Yeah.
very in touch with his emotions.
And so whoever his loved one is, he would be like really excited. And if he couldn't, I
Yeah.
think you could buy some goodwill.
Who do you think his loved one would be?
Oh God.
No, but Ricard would be like, "Good try, dude. I'll take it, but good try."
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But who do you think Xander's loved one would be? Would it be his mom, his dad, a brother, a sister, or like a best friend or girlfriend?
Are we sure he's straight?
I think it'd be his mom. I feel
Well,
like
I mean,
it'd be his
I
mom.
feel like he would be a mama's boy too.
I think it'd be his mom.
Okay, we don't have to. When she says girlfriend, boyfriend, we could have just said like significant other because we don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, no. I'm just saying. I haven't gotten a
No.
read
No.
one way or the other on him.
No, I think that's a good thing, actually.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I like
He
it.
kind of could be either.
yeah. None of our business, and he's a nice.
As long as he keeps wearing his pretty hair that way,
He
no one
just seems like
cares.
such a
Fine.
nice kid. You know what
No,
I mean?
between him and Ricard, they got their hair game
There
is
is some
strong
there's
this
some
this year.
gorgeous hair
No,
game going on.
Heather's hair looks super amazing too.
Mhm,
So that
mhm.
means even 52-year-old hair looks good on the beach, or
Yep,
better on the
beach
beach.
hair. Beach hair.
Hers
You
looks
can't
really
fake
good.
it.
Well, then I should go to the beach.
I
Yeah,
guess
you'll wake
rub
up
some
with like
sand in there.
flowing
Wake up
locks,
with flowing locks of gray
Jeez.
hair.
gorgeous gray flowing locks.
Blonde like Fabio.
Totally unrelated. Did anyone see the trailer for Karate Kid or Cobra Kai that came out today?
No,
I have not. I saw it was released.
The guy from 3 who was the mean trainer who like
Oh yeah,
tortured
yeah,
Daniel.
yeah.
So he comes back and
Yeah, of
he's
course.
got the same hair, but it's gray. And at the end, he pulls
Ooh.
it back. And it's like this man for 60 years old or whatever.
I
He's got
figured-
hair.
I figured he was going to be guy was going to come back.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not a big secret. I mean, it's all over the trailer.
I figured
so.
that would be the next thing because that would be the next unresolved issue from the original series, right?
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens.
But remember he pulled his hair back like in the
Yeah.
ponytail.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't do that at like 3 times, and at the end he pulls it back and ties
Oh,
it in and
serious
steps
time.
onto the mat. So
Time.
it's very dramatic.
That's the old just in the belt move.
No, Ricard's hair is pretty good. It's
It is.
really weird.
There's all this hair. There's all this gorgeous
You know
hair.
what? Maybe it's because we don't expect much on the island, and so
Maybe.
when they
Maybe
look
it's because they got like dirt all over their face. There's not any makeup. It's like real. It's
scruffy
real.
face, yeah, yeah.
That brings the attention to how beautiful the hair is.
It's shiny.
Good healthy oils, salt and sand.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
do
there's
we think
people out there
about-
making a lot of money going for that same look with their products. So,
What do we think about the twist at the end?
New Island. Start
Yeah,
from the
I
beginning.
kind of like it.
Yeah, but what's the point of starting over when you only have like what?
Just to make them miserable for a couple
Just
of
to
days.
make 'em
Dude, they're
cringe,
already
man.
miserable, though.
They got to build their own. Because I'd be like, screw it, I'll just sleep on the beach. We're not.
Yeah, because it would be
building a
like,
shelter.
really?
Well,
it
like,
depends.
okay, look at it
You
like
know-
this. He did say we're going to have a tie-breaking fire challenge. So they're going to
Yeah.
go to a new island. There's no fire started. They're going to have, because, they just kind of keep feeding the one they have.
Yeah.
There's no fire started. So that gives everybody the opportunity to sit down and start practicing their fire making skills. Then they're going to all be needing to walk around to get, things for the fire and things to build something to sleep under, which gives them the opportunity to go look for idols. So, I mean, not like they couldn't do that where they were at.
Do you think the fire making challenge is how they're going to get from 4 to 3?
I'm not sure. I have been trying to figure
'Cause
out where
I
they
think that would
do
be really good because it could be like this person wins immunity. They get to pick one person to take with them to the final 3, kind of like a Big Brother situation. And the other 2 have to then battle it out for that 3rd spot.
That might
And
be. So are you saying like they kind of break it like at the end of Big Brother where we have the 3 and the different challenges and like they break it down into brackets,
Mhm.
To find your final
Mhm.
2?
Like
doing something like
that'd be
that?
a way to fast track it to the 3, but I was just trying to think like what would they tie over? A tiebreaker fire
I
start.
haven't,
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like what
haven't
would
been
they
able
tie?
to figure it out. And like,
And the only thing I was thinking was at 4 when it could be 2 votes against 2 votes.
right.
But then maybe it would be 3 against 1. You don't know.
I don't think that anybody really knows. There's a lot of chatter of trying to
They
figure it
just
out.
throw it
Twitter
out
is a
there.
myth. Twitter is a myth. No one knows.
Twitter is a mess on a good day. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but now like people are trying to put their heads together and actually solve. And I don't know. It was like the why play the extra vote. It was like that all over again. Trying to do the math here, trying to figure this out.
Okay, so last night.
Can we talk about that a sec? Because I've done
We're gonna
more
go to it.
thinking about the extra vote play.
God has been losing sleep for 2 weeks.
If you play the extra vote and you put one vote on each person, you have nullified your own vote.
Yep. You've literally just nullified anything you did.
Like you literally just said, I don't have a vote this week.
Yeah, exactly. You balanced it. If it's going between if everyone's voting for 2 people and you go 1 and 1, yeah, it's.
And I believe it will come out that Ricard talked her into doing that.
Oh, I'm sure he whispered something.
I hope. If so, that would be amazing.
Because that's why I said like the week of, I'm like, I really feel like
he didn't want that out there.
Yeah, he needed it to go because he had already starting to set his sights on when he was taking her out, but she wasn't going to be able to do it while she had that. And if she was, he probably didn't know with 100% certainty if her alliances were stronger with the other 3 than they were with him, but he clearly saw there was another alliance in her life.
Mm-hmm. So, and she had an idol.
Yeah, no, he did.
Right.
And she, because she's part of the Idol in the Pocket Go Home Club.
Right.
Which is not very well named, but fairly well attended over the course of
surprisingly quite a few members.
Well, only 2 this year. We got Masser and
Shan.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Shan, the great game player who goes home with an idol in
and then
pocket,
then there's like, you forget about like those that were like, yeah, sure, hold on to my idol while you vote me out.
Yeah.
Well, who was the guy who took off the immunity necklace and gave it to somebody, and then they all voted him out?
Yep.
Eric.
It was Eric.
Talk
about fabulous hair. Let's talk about Eric's hair.
That was still the most amazing episode of Survivor maybe ever. Because as you're watching it, you're like, he's not going to fall for this, is he? And then you're like, oh my God. Oh my. And it's just him, one guy, and all these ladies, and they just sweet talk him.
Could you see him and Xander being friends outside the game?
Yes.
I can too. Sure. They're very similar.
The nice people, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Now, okay. Can we talk about the challenge again? When they get to the end with the puzzle, like, I'm not the only person that was yelling at their TV, right? Like, were you like, flip your U? Flip, like, I was freaking out.
The problem is that lots of
I was so happy at that moment because I'm like, at you is way down there. He's screwed. He's going to lose. He's going home, which I wanted.
I just saw him putting this puzzle together, and then he was doing it really quickly. He's getting all of his words together, but that U was upside down. And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, yeah, I think for some people it's very hard. Word scrambles or trying to do things with letters. That's just.
But dude, you see, he sees it. He's like, oh, and just like super cool, takes it apart and just bloop, 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 bloop. Like, oh, he's too cool for Summer School.
How close was Deshaun really, do you think?
He wasn't that far behind. He
looks pretty close.
He was there, yeah. He was like, what, one word back?
Yeah.
2 pieces, maybe?
Yeah. No, that was an interesting puzzle. I don't think that's new, right? We've never seen that before, that like blocked Tetris-y.
No, I don't think we have.
That's pretty good. And the idea that it had letters on both sides and that if you didn't have it correct, it wouldn't be the same.
Yep.
That was interesting too. So yeah,
I like how he's like, I was just running 4-letter words the whole time. Like
4-letter words. Yes, you were.
That's what I do.
So was Danny, but he wasn't running the white 4-letter words.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Like you're like cuss.
And then Jeff's just over there, ball.
Yeah, it's like, Jeff, I'm trying to concentrate. Shut the F up. Somebody's got to do that to him one year.
Just.
Do you think that's in the contract? You can't tell Jeff to shut the F up?
Do you think that there's a possibility Deshaun's already done it and we just haven't seen it?
Or somebody somewhere? I just think it's so crazy because if you picture Jeff in your mind, his classic stance is just him standing there with one hand on his hip, talking to him, and like he's so relaxed. He's just like Jeff, why don't you be the one who has to do the obstacle course or whatever it is? You're going to demo it for us. You do it first.
That would be a twist, and the
Let's
winner
see
has
how
to
hard
play
is it.
Jeff in a competition.
Well, no,
That'd
that
be
wouldn't.
great.
I think they would beat Jeff. I think everyone would beat Jeff at that
Do you
point.
know,
They're way
I've
hungrier than him.
I've spent many moments, not hours or days, but moments in my life thinking about the team of people that they have running these relay races and courses beforehand. You know, we get the little shots of like
Yeah.
their hand throwing the ball or that like the
Right.
I'm like, I want to know who these people are. I want to know how this job comes about. Like where were your dreams initially heading before this happened? Like
I'm
talk
sure they're
about a
like
sideline of strangeness.
the assistant associate producer or something.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sure
Really?
that there's
You
somebody
You
within.
mean somebody's not even getting like any kind of acting cred or anything? It's not even like a stunt
Yeah,
man or anything.
right.
It's not like a
Yeah.
professional.
So I bet it's the people who put it together. Because
That's not fair.
every person they have on crew, they got to pay to house and lodge.
They got to
and
get him to
travel
do
and-
right. To
Sure,
do
but I wish it was
something
like,
else.
I wish it was like some amazing like stunt man. The Survivor stunt man. He does all the demos.
Like it's
for the show.
right, like it's like two people.
Yeah,
That's it, just in wigs. They're always in wigs.
It's like when Jimmy Kimmel starts inviting like people from his family out, and you're like, oh, that person. It could be no, it would be Jeff, and then it would be like Survivor stuntman. Maybe he
It's what
could
they
be-
actually do with the loved ones who like don't get to stay on the island
No,
overnight.
he could be like the Stig driver from he's like just wearing a mask at all times. You never get to see his face. Some say he can run this obstacle course in 3 seconds. You know, whatever.
Oh my god.
It's
It,
the
it
Stig.
would actually be funny to have like whoever does that do it like and time him, and then show
Oh yeah,
afterwards.
Right?
wouldn't that be
You know,
fun?
here's what a well-fed person who's
Yeah,
gotten a
yeah.
lot of sleep.
This is what you could be doing.
Yeah.
So Danny lost 20 pounds. That was his weight loss at on the Ponderosa. He's
And
at
he wasn't a heavy
190.
guy. He looked very fit. He didn't look like he was
He
heavy.
looked like he was tall. He looked like he was 6'2" or 6'3".
Yeah, he's tall.
Yeah, he is really tall. He walked in weighing 210 and they weighed him at 190 going out.
No, I have a question about the challenge. So they have this rope and it's wrapped around this circle, right? Why didn't you just loosen your grip and run and let the circle spin around you?
Because they
And
said
not
Instead
be
of getting
dizzy.
spinny yourself.
because I think the rule said you have to spin around. I
Okay,
think
because I mean, otherwise it would seem to me I would have just done that run straight and you'd been out of it. In
And
2
it was a
seconds.
nightmare because, okay, one, it was great because you get to see people running while they're dizzy, and who doesn't love that? Everyone
That's
loves
great.
that. That's everyone does. But
Right.
then
Wipe
what
out.
do they have to run on? What are they running on, guys? Netting. More
Yeah.
netting.
And then a bounce beam.
rope.
I'm just
yeah.
like, and then he like fell and did the shin hit, and
And Danny
yeah.
didn't care at all about the netting. He got to that bounce beam and he was like befuddled.
Yeah. And well, oh God, I'm reliving him like hitting his shin coming down, and like, shins, man, shins
But
and
you know
eyes.
what? In that moment when they're competing like that and your adrenaline's kicking, you probably don't feel it, but
Okay.
later
The
on,
man played football on
Right,
AstroTurf.
he's taken some
Do you
big
really
hits.
think his shins are bothered by the
no.
netting?
But when you take a blow like that just straight to a piece of wood to your shin, that hurts. But
Yeah, that would hurt.
I'm sure
Well,
it
they
hurt.
don't
I'm sure it hurt
do
me.
that like like the blindfold challenge. They don't do that one anymore because people were getting so messed up. Like
Yeah.
Do you know what challenge they didn't do this year that would have been fun? I always like it when they do that like Greco-Roman wrestling thing where they have to like play keep away and they're down in the thing and these people have to hold on to the thing and someone's got to pull them over the goal. You don't like that one?
okay.
I like
so-
that one.
Here's the thing. I have told many people, maybe I've told you that that challenge drives me crazy because there's like one thing that everybody can do you would have a 90% success rate. And that is not to try to use brute force and strength to pull things away from the other person. Just tickle them.
Oh yeah.
Just tickle them.
Unless there's a rule that you can't do that. Maybe that's
I cannot imagine that there is a rule that says you cannot tickle this person. Maybe
Well,
not drown them.
but like
I don't know. When it's in water, I don't know how well that would work.
It would work. It would.
I
know
can't.
people-
If I'm in water, I don't think I'm ticklish.
I know people that if I literally just say, "I'm gonna tickle you,"
I
they will
don't
fall
know.
to the ground. They cannot,
Sure.
like,
I don't know that
can't.
I would be ticklish in that situation because again, I think you're so focused and
I
your
wouldn't be.
adrenaline, you're
No,
so nervous that maybe that doesn't let you be
I
ticklish. I
really
don't know.
wouldn't be because I have trained myself to not be
Yeah.
ticklish because I'm preparing for that
Okay, so
scenario to
that's your
happen.
I do believe if somebody walked up to my wife and tickled her, she'd probably punch him in the throat because she does not like to be tickled.
She's like, "No," because that's her
That's
weakness.
why
That's why.
you don't react to it. People quit immediately because
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, you're not ticklish. Nope, give it up."
Exactly. It's not
But
fun. Now it's
inside you're
creepy.
like, "Oh my god." Um,
Like, yeah, you thought this was gonna be fun, but it's actually creepy,
no,
right?
on
You're
that
like, "I can't
challenge,
do
the
that
best
anymore."
thing
Well,
is
tickling somebody you don't know is probably always a little creepy. I mean,
on
I think that's like
Almost
the
always.
definition of.
Almost always.
Well, I
almost.
guess on Survivor as a tactic, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry, but, like, if I'm on there, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be like, "Guys, I'm tickling him. It's working. It's working."
But we didn't see that one this year, and I think that's the one where you
That's
really
a fun
see
one.
people have to dig down and, like, really like, who wants it more kinda thing, you know?
Yeah, and you have to kind of break a few more barriers too. Like, not
That would
I
have
mean,
been a
people
great
who are
one.
really, like, athletic and do things where they're in physical contact with other
Yeah.
people, it's nothing, but there's a lot of us out there that is that's not something
Yeah,
we would ever
exactly. It would
experience.
have been a
Who
great challenge for them to do at the merge when they did the thing where they did the 2 teams, because
Yes.
a lot of them wouldn't have known each other yet, and
Mhm.
you gotta kinda, like then it's even more awkward. I don't even know you,
who
and I'm
was
Yeah.
texting.
who was
Yeah.
the one girl who like dragged two people like halfway through the water?
Oh, I
She
don't
wa- she
remember
was
who that was.
she was African American. She wasn't that big, but man, she dragged
Oh,
two people,
I
two
know
other
who would
girls.
know who it was, but I don't know who it was.
It
That's
was that.
amazing.
Yeah, it was. I look at it going, that's astounding.
That is
Yeah,
amazing.
And I'm
Anyway,
it
like,
is.
why wouldn't
I
you
do
go for
like
the
that
legs? Go
challenge.
for the
I do like it.
legs.
we haven't really seen any, but maybe they wouldn't hold up this year since they have no food, but that's, like, a really physical one that we haven't seen.
Well, that first season of Australia that, Paramount is showing, like, that's the first challenge. That's the very first challenge.
Is
Is
them
like on
wrestling?
but it's not in the water, it's on the mat. It's like
Yeah,
wrestling, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
Now, have they ever done it on a mat?
They've done it in the sand before, or the
Yeah,
mud. It was, like, muddy or something.
mud.
yeah. I the one I remember is the water, and Boston Rob was
Because
on that season.
because
That's
the
all I
one in the
remember.
mud, if I remember right, weren't people's, like they were dragging each other through the mud. People's, like, bottoms were sliding down and, like, I was like,
Swimsuits
"Hey."
were
I would
gone.
think I'd remember that.
Wasn't it though? Am I remembering
Swimsuits
wrong?
were
Maybe I
gone. No,
dreamt it. I don't know.
here's the thing. I just that challenge would kick your butt. You couldn't do it very successfully in the middle of at the end of the game. You could only pretty much get a good game out of it at the beginning. Could you imagine at this point, they'd be like, mm," like drowning, like just slowly fading away.
Yeah.
Heather had to tread water for 11 seconds. She's
She'd be
gassed.
done. She'd be
But
done.
here's the thing, if she couldn't tread the water, why didn't she try to shoot some axes? She can't do that either. Like,
No,
so
no,
that's why I knew immediately because I haven't seen really any skill that she brings,
no,
really.
no,
And so
no.
when I saw the other team, it was like whoever had Heather on their team was losing.
How did she get through casting then?
Maybe they had hope for her.
I mean, she would have had to have some. She would have had to have been charming, or they would have had
She's
something. They
got
would have
she's
had to have
got to
seen.
have yeah, she's gotta have something there that made her
It
look
may
more
be okay.
appealing than
So they
Is
made
that
it.
maybe why they did the whole thing? Remember when Jeff was like, "Look, she never gave up." No, was that Heather?
Yes,
yeah. Mhm.
Right? And maybe it was because he made the decision and he realized what a bad decision
maybe,
it was, and so he
but,
made him give her screen
but
time because he could,
it was
because the boss is never wrong.
clearly it was a
It
decision
was.
this year to make him the cast more diverse, right? So maybe in doing that, they wanted some sort of juxtaposition of someone who did not have that experience, which played out if that's the case, because we got to see her say,
Maybe.
I never thought of that." So maybe it was that. I don't know.
I want to see the season where they put a critical mass of 50-year-olds on,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that the 50-year-olds have a chance to win.
Didn't we have that in the wasn't it the millennials versus
Yeah,
the
but that was only a third.
It
Yeah.
was, and it went really
The
quick.
diversity
because,
thing's half, right?
you get like three or four episodes in, and then they're merging.
So I'm saying I'm down for the
Yeah, that
oldies.
was.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need parody.
I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm
We
willing
don't-
to see it. We've had a lot of players that are 50 plus that were great. So
Yeah.
go for
What
it.
was the fireman's name?
Which one?
The
We
guy
had a
who
couple
won
different
out.
firemen.
He won like I want to say Tom, but that isn't right.
Jer-
He had
Wasn't
short
Jeremy-
cropped gray hair, and
Oh.
he wore his fire shirt, his blue fire shirt, the whole show. What's his name?
I thought Jeremy was a fireman. That's the only fireman that's coming to my.
No, he was like 53 or 54
about
when he
Tom?
won. Tom.
Mhm.
Tom wasn't a fireman, was he?
57.
Was he 57 when he won?
I don't know. Let's see. 10th season.
Yeah. And he was and that's a guy that won out, right?
Tom Westman. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jeremy was the second firefighter to win.
So he was on the 10th season. So that would have been 15 years ago.
All right, season
So
10
long
callback.
ago.
So if he was 15 years younger than he is now, and now he's 57. So he'd have been like 42. That's not an old guy.
I'm proud of yanking that reference out of my butt.
Yeah, well done.
Good job.
Tom
job.
Westman. And
Yeah, I'm not
Jeremy
sure
and
how
Jeremy
old he
was the other fireman.
And Jamie Joe, I thought she would be one of those go, oh, that's Tom. Like she knows every
There's too many.
winner.
There's too many players on Survivor that go before.
See,
getting
because
to
it's easier to remember Big Brother because there's one season a
Mhm.
year. But with us, I mean, they have 2 a year.
seasons.
You barely
two
have one
seasons,
getting in.
different themes, different
Way
islands,
less time that you spend with them because less
Yep.
episodes.
and
yeah.
no live feeds.
Yes,
It's the
They
live
should
feeds
do
that make
live
things tick.
feeds.
they should.
Why
They
wouldn't
all
they do
say,
live
you know what?
feeds?
They all say all those that have been
Because they don't
There-
show it live. So if they had to pre-record it couldn't be live feeds. It would have to be
there are many
diary
Survivor,
feeds or something.
Survivor alumni that will be on Big Brother podcasts because they're
Mhm.
big fans of Big Brother as well. In fact,
Mhm.
a lot of Big Brother players and Survivor players have tried out for both games
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
got the one they did. But they all will say that live feeds on the island would be the most boring thing that you'll ever watch because it is 99% laying in the sand.
Yeah,
Just
but
laying
it
there.
wouldn't be if they knew there were live feeds.
Maybe not. Yeah, there
maybe
might
not.
be.
But wouldn't that be interesting if they did it where they were evicting live? Had a live tribal council
Live
every week?
tribals, right?
Why couldn't they do that?
Via the satellite hookup.
And the
Right?
final season wouldn't be the contrived walking out and then walking in
Oh,
on the
but
same
you know
set. I
what?
hate
I'm
that.
gonna-
I'm done with it.
I'm gonna say though, it's a little disappointing because now he just walks out and then walks in. But it used to be really fun to be like, how's he leaving the island this year? Like,
Okay,
is
the
he
only
getting a boat or a helicopter?
Right.
You know, there was always some big epic.
he grabs
thing.
onto the rope and it just lifts him off.
Right, off he goes.
But I
with
mean-
his barrel of oats.
Is it because they can't have the editing?
Right. Well,
Stuff
it's
there,
not
or-
the editing. Think about it. If it's 39 days normally, you would have a 39-day show and then you wouldn't have a season. Do you know what I mean? They would have to come on. It would have to be on like Big Brother. Every 3 days, they'd be voting someone out.
Yeah.
Even if
So
they,
it's
yeah, even
gonna-
if they did,
It would be really hard. Like, how do they edit to show the
Right.
immunity challenge? They'd have to be on every single day in prime time for 39 days straight, or there'd just be too many scheduling conflicts. I just don't think there's a way
there's
to do
no
it.
bathroom doors. I'm just saying. You're just gonna
I
see
just-
like two of them out in the eye,
Because
like out in
Big
the water.
Brother-
You
Big
know what
Brother's-
one of them's doing,
Big Brother, they're out there for like 3 months. It's a long time for
right?
them to plod the show out, and they only evict a person once a week. Whereas on Survivor, it's every 3 days someone's going, right?
Right, and it would basically have to be set up like trail
Well,
cams
But again, you
because
could do 2 shows a week and evict every 3 days.
Yeah, but
And
then
then
how,
you
they
do
could
3,
find
4, 3,
some-
4, 3, 4, and you're on twice a week, and somebody goes home every week.
but then it still couldn't be
every
live
show.
because you'd have to show the immunity challenges and the reward challenges and
Oh,
all
no,
the-
that
all
could be filmed, like they sometimes do.
right.
Big
But I
Brother's not
think-
always live.
think that
You're
one of
seeing the end of the challenge that happened 4 days ago.
But
because
I
those-
think where you're
True.
having a live tribal wouldn't go well because if if it is
They're
true that
talking for 3
tribals run
hours.
2 to 3 hours,
Yeah.
and it's edited down to give us the most direct content. So
I'm just saying, season 42, he wants to be fun. Try it live. What's the worst
something
thing that could
different.
happen?
Instead of live, I think what they need to
Somebody
do.
gets eaten by a rogue
Listen.
shark, like on live.
They have enough footage that they edit out that's not in the show.
That's true.
They wouldn't have to do live. They could literally just release those
Yeah.
as like day 1 footage, day 2 footage,
Yep.
day 3 footage, and just compile it up
Yeah.
and then let people and then release one of
And
those
do like
every day.
subscription content. Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go. There it
right.
is.
That's how they do it.
Subscription. Well, how
It
come he
wouldn't
hasn't
be a
done
live
that?
feed, but it would be like the dailies or something of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happened. So you could see the behind the scenes people talking or funny things they were doing.
CBS,
or
that would drive a
just
lot of people to their app.
Mhm.
Or they get voted off, hit the jury line, get voted off, go to Ponderosa, and we get live feeds at
And
Ponderosa.
I think they should, yes, and I really think that they should play up Ponderosa more. It's so interesting, and they used to talk about it more than they do now, it seems
Yep.
like.
Yeah, now you kind of have to hunt for the Ponderosa
Yeah.
video, but
And
it's
you
I
gotta
like
watch
it because you
any
don't know how many times
commercials.
I have seen somebody and had one very strong opinion of them one way or the other, and they get to Ponderosa and you see them have like actual conversations without any editing, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh, I
they're not
wow, they're
paranoid.
different than I totally thought." Right. So,
They're not cuckoo crazy
yep.
paranoid. No, they're acting kind of like a normal human being.
Right. Oh,
Plus,
there's a
plus
person in there.
everyone's so much more likable after they take a shower.
Yeah, but more often than not, you find out they're exactly who you thought they were.
Probably, yeah.
Like Brittany, right? She's gonna do a stupid rap. It's coming.
You know it. You know
It's
it. She
coming,
walks
right? It doesn't matter if
leaves
she's
that island because let's face it, she's on the island. The first thing Jeff's gonna say is there's no rapping at tribal. I'm like, you put that out. First rule
And
of
then she'd
tribal is
rap
we don't
anyway.
rap at tribal.
They just
And
cut it all
then
out.
as soon as she walks out
Cricket.
onto the dock at Ponderosa, she has been writing a rap the whole time on this island. She has been practicing her beats. She's gonna do it. She's gonna step off that boat, clap those hands, and off she goes.
And there she goes, huh? All
It's
right.
okay at Ponderosa, just not at tribal.
Okay, what else, guys?
Okay, so I
Trying to
did
think
want to
what else
talk
happened.
about Deshaun's putting his foot in his mouth real quick
Oh,
on
yes,
that whole
yes,
thing at tribal.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and that was coming.
everybody clearly voted for all the people we knew that were going to vote for Danny or figure that they were going to be voting for Danny. Okay, no surprises there. But when they had to go back and vote again, do you think that it was like everyone's on board with Danny and it's just going to stick with Danny? Like, you think that's clearly what happened, right? Like, because Deshaun didn't get, I don't think it changed anybody's mind.
Well, okay. Well, it might have solidified. If they were keeping Deshaun because they thought, hey, Deshaun has kind of had some rubs with people. Danny
Right.
has not. But he has, and if they're thinking of the two, Deanie's more likable, maybe, and Deshaun
Right.
might have some people who are angry with them, maybe,
Mhm.
and that's the only thing, because how do you choose, right? And then he does the thing that pisses people off again, right? You go,
Perfectly.
oh yeah, we're keeping him instead of Danny home because he's getting more and more unlikable, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking about with Ricard is like, he's probably sitting there just like, this couldn't work out more perfectly because he needs somebody that is a bigger dumpster fire for
Yep.
everyone to pay their attention to.
Yep.
Like he had, because he knows they've been after him for 2 weeks.
He's
He
going
has
home. If
to
he
have-
doesn't win next week, he goes home.
Oh, legitimately believe that if there's no idol or if he doesn't win,
Okay.
that the odds are extremely high.
Is the roll the dice roll that's done, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
ended.
Okay, because I really
And
got
probably this will be the last week for Xander to play his
okay.
idol.
That was going to be my
Right.
next question. So this will be the last.
So
week.
Xander is going to the Final Four, unless he pulls an Eric.
Right.
No, he's
Right.
not going to. He's
Now here's an interesting thing: Xander wins immunity, and he can now give his idol to anyone he wants.
He'll give it to Erica.
Nope.
You don't think so?
I'll give it to Deshaun.
Hmm.
Why do
I
you
don't
think
think he
Deshaun?
will.
Or
I think
Heather.
he's, I think he's
Heather's
too
the
close to
move.
the end. I think he's too close to the end of the game to risk
But I
giving it
don't
to
think
either
giving
of
it
the
to
guys.
Heather, giving it to Heather's a waste because no one's going to vote her out anyway. She doesn't need it. No one is voting her out.
No, that's exactly right.
They're like, if she twists an ankle and she's out of the game, whatever.
Right.
But we're not voting her out. She's that just
Right, but and then if he gives
a
it to
bigger fish to
Erica, that means the only people on the plate's going to be Deshaun or Ricard, which are his biggest competitors right now.
which would kind of be smart.
You'd
Unless
have to get rid of
Deshaun
one
and
of the guys.
Ricard could be like, we're voting for Heather.
Right.
But I mean,
Because honestly, at this point, yeah, Ricard is a way bigger threat overall. But if he could just one or the other, in that scenario, he can go one or the other and try to convince the others to go for the one he wants.
it's very interesting when you think about Xander's game overall from the beginning till now and how he's literally had a target on his back the whole time and has never really had an alliance.
Nope. No,
And
he's never had
he's
one.
still there. And
Well, this is a guy I was laughing about, in the first half, and yet I got to respect his gameplay.
like that.
Yeah, it's because his voice says dumb, but his brain is smart.
His appearance says dumb too. Let's be fair.
Yeah, it's an easy one to quickly judge.
And his appearance also says like sweet and trustful, right? Like,
Oh, see,
don't you think like that people?
I wouldn't have pinned him as sweet and trustful at the beginning. The very first week, just upon eyesight.
Yeah,
I would.
But I think the people who know him now are like
for sure.
Yeah. So you think that if Ricard doesn't win immunity this week, he's going?
100%.
Has to be, right?
100%.
So what do you think the odds are that he wins another immunity?
Fairly
50-50.
good. He's done a really great job at it.
He's done really good.
It depends on what it is, though.
Yeah.
If it's
Well,
an endurance,
He's won the foot
challenge,
game.
he's toast.
He won the foot game. He's won.
Right, but he hasn't won an endurance challenge. So Xander will beat him.
Well, yeah, but did he play that the one that Xander won? Did he play that one or was he a sit out on that one?
No, he played.
Did he?
No, only the two gals sat out.
There was one endurance he sat out on.
I don't know. I feel like that ball on the thing and holding it without it falling is kind of an endurance one, but
for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But remember the one where because he said if somebody else is willing to, because of the whole rice thing, there was an endurance one he sat out of.
Right.
But
regardless, I think
he's not going to have what Xander has.
I don't know. Last night we didn't see a lot of Ricard. It was the Danny and Deshaun show. We didn't see a lot of Ricard.
One of them were going home.
Yeah, sure.
So.
And so we didn't get a lot of him, but yet he still had a great game last night. So, God, I don't know. I feel like he could win again. And
if he wins again, if he wins again, I think he wins the game.
I'm just saying. Here's the deal. I'm just saying a few things on my final thought.
Uh-oh.
One, I'm really bummed out that the two girls left in the game are the two girls we have left in the game. That kind of bums me out a little bit.
Yeah, there won't be a female winner this year.
No.
And if there is,
it's not going to be no one's going to be happy about it.
How could it possibly be? If three people go, all the guys beat both the girls.
Okay, so we've got, I think it's fair to say we're really, the winning game is down to Ricard, Xander, or Deshaun. And for me, I feel like if Deshaun wins it, that's great for my online game. And if Ricard wins it, that's great because that's who I really want to win. And it's great for your online game.
Oh, it's great for my online game, yeah.
Right. And if it's Xander, I will be totally happy about that for him.
Yeah. I would be okay with that.
Me too now.
Yeah. Right? He's like, you kind of root for the kid a little bit. Like,
yeah, for sure.
He'll probably do something nice with the money too, I bet.
Oh, we got to do the Fantasy Survivor.
Okay, yeah. That's
let me channel my best Jay Gladfelder. And now it's time for Fantasy Survivor update.
Update. All right. So this last week, I will say, Randy took the week with gosh darn it, it won't open up. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, the second place one really pissed me off.
Okay.
I'm still angry about it.
So, gosh darn it, what my phone is so goofy. Okay, so yeah, Randy really swept this week. He got almost everything right except who would be voted
Wow.
off. He thought Deshaun would be voted off, but otherwise he had swept the board. JP was second, and then Mandy, and then Gott, and then me, and then
Then who was fourth?
you.
Ah, okay, excellent. I've had so little. Give it up. I've had so little this year.
You have
Good
had
job,
to
buddy.
As a matter of fact, I almost doubled my points with this week.
So that was for the week. So that's the prognostication week to week. But you know, it's a little harder when you do the whole season.
Well,
And-
some of us
I
haven't
don't think
taken
I
2
got-
weeks off.
I don't think that
Right.
I got anything right. I don't think I got one right this week. I don't.
Jamie,
You know, who was the first person that said immunity?
Xander, and I
Was
think
it?
you got it. I think you got that. You
Yeah,
had
you got that.
you had a 350 points for the week,
You did okay.
which
Oh,
isn't
alright.
bad. I mean,
That's not so
mine
awful.
was only at 380 for the week, but you know. So
Yeah,
But,
I missed 2 weeks this season.
that really killed your game.
Buddy.
That's okay. We all do our best, right? We're all just doing our best. But
Yeah, that's pretty
Mandy-
pathetic when you're actually sitting doing a video cast on the show and you can't be bothered to fill out your fantasy survey.
I almost forgot this week. I will, because I like to sit on it for a few days and kind of ponder these
I
thoughts.
usually do it on Sunday.
And I was like, it was an hour before it aired, and I was like, oh,
Oh, see, I have an alarm set on my phone to remind me Sunday nights to make my picks if I hadn't, and whatever.
I know why Sunday night. I know why. Because I've been doing this a number of years.
Why Sunday
Because that
night?
was the cutoff for the early picks, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
So I-
turned that off this year. Thank God.
No, I started the alarm this year, this season. Finally
Oh.
got my stuff together
Oh.
after so many years. But maybe I was just always in my head. I'm still tuned to the do it before Sunday, probably. But anyway, yeah. So this week, my alarm went off, and what I usually do is, no matter what I'm doing, I stop what I'm doing if I haven't done my picks and do them right then, so I don't forget. Right? Because gotta do it out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I thought I'd hit snooze, and I turned it off because I was in the middle of cooking. And then, like, thank goodness, like 2 hours later, I was like, oh my gosh. And I did remember. Otherwise, I'd have been right there with you.
thank goodness. Thank
Yeah,
goodness. So
thank
there'd be
goodness.
two of you.
What I can't
But-
stand about the site is it updates the results, but then you can't immediately put your new picks in.
You have to wait
It's
till the
like,
next
you
day,
gotta
right?
wait. Right, why?
Yeah, you have
Well,
to wait.
David, build a better site. We need the Jay Glatt filter site.
Build it
That's
back
what we need.
better.
But Mandy's in the first place position overall for the season, followed by
Oh.
Maggie in second place, and JP from NJ is in third place.
JP, how
the
do you do it?
Sometimes drop by kind
Oh,
of.
sorry, just had an itch. That's just an itch.
Yeah. So
But if JP you're watching, it wasn't an itch.
what's not a tumor? But so what do we think is going to happen? So we got 5 players. Now's the time where we can make our predictions for how it's all going to go down next week.
And I really do have a question when we're going into vote online for how are we doing this? Because what do we got, like 2, 3?
I've already
We don't
done
even
it.
know
So
what's
you do the first one, then it advances
Yeah,
you to the
it'll
second
give you
one.
each one. It'll advance you.
Here's a caution. Remember what
Oh.
you did in the first one because it doesn't.
Oh, okay. So,
So you
we'll
could
walk out
you
here
could
and
vote
go,
for, say, Erica to go home in the first one and
And then
vote for her
pick-
to go home in the second one too.
Gotcha. Okay.
But again, maybe that works for your benefit.
yeah, it might.
Right,
yeah.
right. No, but I'm saying it used to be
Good
when we
to
used
know
to do
ahead
this
of
years
time,
ago that whoever you picked in the first one wasn't available in the
Okay.
second one.
Okay. Fair enough. Sounds like I got a challenge against the technology. That's what's going to happen.
So what do we think? We think they're going to go to a new island. They're going to have to make shelter or not, find food or
They're
not.
all looking
Oh.
for an idol. You know, they're all looking for.
I don't
an
think
idol.
there will be one. I think they're
You think
done.
so?
I think they're going to look though, because some
Unless they
people,
think Ricard's going to lose the challenge,
Well,
then they
there
might
was
put
that-
one there.
There was
Some
that
people are
idol right underneath Danny's
Danny.
feet.
and or was it an idol or was it a clue?
Well, we don't know. It was just a burlap thing
So,
with a twine
If
around
that's
it.
there and nobody got it, Why wouldn't they move that over to the new idol?
Because I think introducing an idol when there's already one and there's only 5 players is a
Okay,
mistake.
maybe it's not an idol. What if it's an advantage
Like an
or
advantage or disadvantage, or they wouldn't
or
disadvantage this far out.
it could be one of
Kinda like
those
good at this.
I don't know. Maybe it's an extra vote or
Maybe it's just a snack. Maybe it's a fun-sized Snicker bar.
I like
Can
the
she-
fun-size Snicker bars.
Yeah, I would be pretty happy with that. I'd be like, all right, thanks. It's not an
Fun-size
idol,
Snicker
but
bar or
it's a
fun-size.
fun thing.
Well, yeah, but it would be melted. It's in the sun.
because if
So
you
it'd have to
eat,
be like Skittles.
care.
if you eat like 3 or 4 fun-sized Snicker bars, you don't feel like you've had a whole candy bar, but you don't
ate a
feel like
whole one, a whole
you feel
one,
like you've had just
guilt-free.
a snack.
My wife bought full-size Kit Kats this year for the trick-or-treaters because we only get amazing. We
You're
have
that
thousands of kids in here, but
Yeah,
we
but
only get like 10,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
she buys this.
All those trunk or treats are ruining the Halloween trick or treat.
No, there's this street where
Right.
everybody decorates their houses, and all, the kids come from miles, right? And that's where everyone goes.
Because they know your neighborhood's the one that gives away whole-size Kit Kats.
So we end up with 4 left, and my wife puts them in. I have a big house, like 7 rooms or whatever, and I get one drawer in the kitchen, and that is my domain.
Really? And it's like
and I can do whatever I want. I can put
And
anything I
everything-
want in that
Whatever
drawer.
I
She
want,
won't
whatever
touch
I
it.
want can go
everything in there is off
Except
limits.
I say that occasionally she'll purge the drawer, and it always causes an argument because like it's
Well, this is my
it's like
one
the only
drawer.
thing that's mine. Even
What
like my
what-
stuff in my closet really isn't mine.
Wait.
Listen,
But
it
what
may
would-
just be a straw wrapper, but it was my straw
Right.
wrapper.
I'm wondering, like, what would she purge out of there?
Who knows? She go through I don't know old receipts or
All those
Oh, okay.
tidying times.
because it's the place where I go and just empty my pockets and throw my
Oh,
wallet.
okay.
And,
Got it,
Yes.
Got it. Well, I was thinking it was like your secret snack drawer or something.
no.
In
so
which
she-
case,
so
if she was
put-
getting rid of expired food, then she's really just looking out after you.
No, so this was the point. Is so the day after Thanksgiving, I opened the drawer and it was like light came down from heaven and there was this big stream of light on the drawer and there were four full-size Kit Kats. And I still have one left and it's December and I'm so
You know
proud of
what?
myself.
You know what? You have
How
to
do
make
you do
that
it?
last. You just dole it out slowly. Savor the flavor.
You know
No,
what I do?
this is what I would have done. I would have taken all 4 of those. I would have put them in the freezer for about 2 hours. I would have taken them out of the freezer, banged all of them up with a hammer, poured them in a bowl with some milk, and just eaten that whole damn thing. Like all 4 of them.
This is why I'm
Okay.
proud of myself. I have shown
what I would do.
restraint.
Diabetic coma.
I thought
right
you were
now.
going to say break them apart and then put them on ice cream, mix them in with ice cream.
Oh, that'd be
Is that-
good too.
Same difference. They're all going right now. They aren't lasting till
You don't need to
December.
go to Cold Stone. You can mix that up at home.
Yeah, I will listen. There will be December candy in December. No need to hold on to
There's
October
no
candy.
such thing as December candy until like the 25th, and then it's too late.
No, there's December candy as soon as November 1st happens.
Because what's funny is I love candy, but in my entire life I would never go buy candy.
You never just randomly like.
No, like, if you walked up and gave me
Like,
like
no, just candy.
like my favorite is the $100,000 bar or the 100
Mhm,
grand
100
bar.
grand.
If you walk up and gave me one of those, I would probably hug you. I'd be so happy. But I would never
You never
go,
think
to,
to buy
go
one
to the gas station and buy one.
Okay, Melissa, this is for you. Go and get some. Put him in his stocking. He needs 100 grand bars. Okay.
Yep.
You will get a
I
hug.
don't need them.
Oh, okay.
But my
Well,
point is
you
that
could
it
have
just
a stash would be like, David, I think the lawn needs those bushes need trimmed.
See,
Or,
and
listen,
that would work.
yeah,
see?
see?
now, see at the beginning of this whole conversation, there was a little bit of a silly giggle when I said it could be a Snickers. But do you see how important it would be for that person if it had been a Snickers?
He
It
will
would be
do
amazing.
that.
100 grand bar. I
Okay.
mean, now you're talking.
I'd be like, hey, I just won the game.
I don't know
That's
if I
it.
would-
won.
If I was stuck on the island, I'd be
Okay.
like, dude, you bit of honey, whatever you got. Like,
Right.
seriously.
Right.
I have to apologize. I just took us down an 8-minute rabbit hole. In fairness to me, I was just podcasting with Scott.
Ah,
So it happens.
It stretches.
know,
it stretches.
flashbacks are a thing, so we get it.
Yes.
Okay, so what do we think? What do you think the final 5, how it's going to run down? Anybody want to make predictions?
I think if Ricard doesn't get an idol, he's first to go. Bye. But I
I
have
got
a feeling
Ricard to go. I got Ricard to go.
faith. I have faith in him, though.
I don't think he's going to go yet.
I
I
don't
think
think
he's
so
going to win
either.
immunity. I think Xander, and then they're going to have their idol. I think Deshaun goes next, honestly.
Maybe.
Okay.
I think
That's
it's gonna
where I
be
started,
Deshaun.
and I went back and changed it.
And then
I
I
went
think,
with Ricard.
honestly, after Deshaun is gone, then I think it's either Ricard or Xander. And I don't know which it's going to be because Erica's going to be down to vote either one of them out.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
She would probably rather vote out Ricard than Xander. But again,
Oh.
depends on who has immunity, right?
I have it Ricard first, then Deshaun,
Mhm.
and Xander winning. If you well, now I gave you my picks. If you do that too, you'll beat me.
God, I would not be unhappy with that. That would
Yeah,
feel
I don't think that there's
okay.
any real.
That would be like the worst final three in Survivor history, perhaps.
It would, but it would be still. They would be like completely an afterthought. They're just tagging along. It's not a big deal. But
Right now, I think that you've got a high likelihood of Erica like going, "Yep, let's focus everything in on Deshaun," because she's mad at him.
Nah, she wasn't though, or he'd have gone home.
No, she's mad at him. The first words out of her mouth on the little thing was, "I hate him. He needs to go."
Yeah, but that's the edit. That's the red herring edit right there.
Red herring.
That's why I went with Ricard because of that comment. I went, no, it ain't going that way, or they would have showed it.
I think the thing with Ricard though is just that he has the ability to pull one off. You know what I mean? Like he has
that whatever that survivor gene is, that thing that makes you be able to like dig deep and pull it off in that moment that you need to win or you're going. Right. I feel like he can do it.
Yeah.
I know he absolutely can do it. I think he's 50-50.
He's so tough,
right?
I took the 50% he doesn't get there, but I was first the other way.
And it's not just
I think that none of us are making a bad call to say that 2 of the guys will be in the final 3. Like, that's all we know.
No, not necessarily though.
2 of the guys will be in the final 3.
No, because
I don't think it's going to be 2 of the girls and 1 guy. I mean, I guess
the next 2 people who go home could be dudes, easy.
But I think that our dudes are just all 3 of them are so like, not today, man. They just, I don't know. I mean, we've got a really fun final 3 out of them. Erica she might be able to do something with endurance. Who knows which way she would.
Erica has not won a challenge and will not win a challenge.
She might win something though.
Erica is the most overrated player. I can't understand it. I keep hearing how smart she is. I don't see it.
I don't think she's a horrible player. She's not Tiffany.
No.
She's
Tiffany
Jr.
Not Sydney. Like Sydney was real bad.
I can't see the overrated thing because I have literally never heard or read a single person say Erica's game is best. Nobody. I've never heard anybody be like,
no, people keep saying Erica's so smart and Erica's so savvy.
Oh, I think she made a smart move, but
one.
Yeah. I think she was a bigger threat to the people that were on the island with her than she is to any of us.
Right.
I think they were the ones feeding the highfalutin. She's got to goes.
I think that Deshaun's going to be the next one to go because I just feel like Xander, he already has his immunity idol. But I feel like Ricard is just, it's not so much that his focus, it's how calm he stays.
But he's got to win.
That's what I mean. He's so cool as a cucumber, right?
So
but oh my God, the eyes he throws, the eyes, like my favorite thing in Tribal is when we get to see like the pan out of the whole Tribal. I just watch Ricard because he is like throwing side eye, rolling his eye.
Because he sits there so nice and
it's
so whatever, and he's just
he doesn't give an inch over to Jeff. Like Jeff asks the right questions. He's like, I'm not giving you that information.
Yeah, I know what he's doing, Jeff. I'm not answering that.
He's not only the best player; he may be the best character.
Yeah, he's fun. He's so much fun to watch play, and when you can really root for somebody's gameplay and the entertainment that they're bringing just by being themselves.
If anybody should come back and play again, it's Ricard, not Shan.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Though I think she would just
Oh,
give
they're
him
going to bring Shan back. for
yeah,
sure.
they'll bring her
I mean,
back.
Sure.
Well, they'll bring him back in the same season and see if it's like, will they be friends or frenemies?
I want Ricard to come back with his mom. That's why. Because his mom cracks me up.
How much time do you spend on Twitter a day, Jenny?
Not much. I just follow the people. He will after the episodes he was posting like the voicemails that she was leaving, and they were just funny. And like his text messages, they were pretty good.
Well, no, he posts them, he's playing them, but you're seeing his face as he's
Right,
listening
right.
to it on like speakerphone, and he's like,
Yep.
it's pretty
Right
good.
now he's running a poll if he should get dressed up or if he should wear like the island outfit, like the orange shirt. If you've noticed, like 17 people have worn that orange shirt that he was wearing. That like peachish orange t-shirt travels around amongst all the people on the island.
Who would want to wear okay?
I don't know, but like half of them have worn it, and he's got it. He's got
Okay,
it at home with
you
him
have
right now.
just whatever clothes you have when you get to the island,
Mhm,
right?
right.
You have to wear them every day.
Yeah.
At this point, everyone's been wearing their same clothes every day. I'm not going to look at someone it makes me want to throw up right now just thinking about it and go, hey, can I wear your
Can I
shirt?
wear that sweaty, nasty shirt that you're smelling really
No.
bad in?
Like, no.
Yep.
We can be friends. I'm
Travel
not
around.
wearing the shirt you've worn for 20 days.
It's the Survivor sherbet
I'll
shirt.
just wear the one I'm wearing because it's already full of my germs.
Well, okay. Although I gotta say, I think I'd be so rank after 20 days. If somebody I judged to be less rank would give me their shirt, I'd probably take it. Because I just
think that
know the
will-
shirt I'm wearing is worse.
Sure, but usually people don't smell themselves like you smell other people.
That's true. We have
know
that
what I'm saying?
nose blind.
Like, you
and
can't-
I don't
yeah,
understand.
you're kind of
You have a whole ocean right there. Go wash your shirt in the damn ocean. At least it
Even
won't
if
smell
they
like
washed
BO.
it, I don't want to wear their shirt unless the only way it would be an unless is if I chose super poorly when I chose my outfit to go to the island, and
Like you went there with your, I don't know, like
Like
Girl
the
Scout
dude that goes with
uniform
his
or
Or
sports
like-
coat. I never
But I was
understood
thinking,
that.
like how like sometimes you can have an article of clothing that like, oh, it's super comfortable, but then you wear it too long and it starts to rub or something. And you're like, what?
Like
It's
this
like-
is an
it's like
unfriendly tag.
It's like, yeah, like the tag or like just a seam or something is just not. Then maybe because then it's a comfort thing. But no,
Sure.
I'm not wearing other people's clothes.
Well, that shirt has made rounds. If you were to go back and watch, just click on go back to every
Maybe-
episode of
maybe
Survivor, watch
Ricard-
5 seconds of it to spot the orange
Okay.
shirt. It's going to be on a different body.
Maybe Ricard not only has amazing hair, maybe he's one of those people who has like naturally good BO, like his body smell, his chemistry.
Maybe everybody
smells really
wants to
good.
take the
That
shirt because
person
they
doesn't
want some of
exist
his.
after 20 days.
Maybe they want some of that Ricard magic. Maybe they're hoping to
Something.
get some luck. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got it now. The shirt, it's that he has it.
Something.
He's got that shirt.
All right.
But you know what, guys? It's going to be a couple hours long. It's, I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are going, you know what? Your audience is really expecting this,
Because-
this, and this.
Season
you know.
41, keep the 1, drop the 4, right? It's like
Something like that. We're
They
hitting
keep
things
saying
with
it over and
hammers
over
and
again.
dropping crap on the floor.
so next week we got super long Wednesday night finale.
Wednesday
Got
night,
you are super Spider-Man.
you're out
ended
on
up
Friday,
On
right?
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday.
Thursday.
So do we want to talk on Friday?
Or you
Yeah.
can go without me. It's okay. I
No,
will-
that's the last
No,
one. You
for
have
the
to be
last
there.
one. Are you
I
kidding?
know that's. It feels
Yeah.
wrong, but I
Okay.
wouldn't.
We're good.
So I forgot to
We'll do
ask.
Friday.
Can we
Danny,
just
fine.
can we ask the mothership if we can just go that night?
I don't want to go that night. Are you kidding me?
After 3
Wow.
hours. Whew, it's gonna be
Oh,
late.
it's
No.
3 hours.
Yeah, it's 3 hours and then no.
Well, it isn't like the last hour of the reunion show that we could blow that off and just start podcast.
Never.
No.
I hate the reunion
So
show.
since Dan,
Oh, I
I
like
think I like it. I want more of it. I
Yeah,
want more.
same. I love the
I
reunion.
want more.
The
So-
only part I don't like, but I also love, because you know how much I love to love hate, but is when Jeff finds somebody in the audience and he's all like, future Survivor player, like some cute little kid, and then he like gets all pandery about how they're the future of Survivor. I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
So cheap.
I hate this, but I love it. I expect it. I need to see
I mean,
it so
he
I can
connects
complain
better
about it.
he connects better than Julie Chen, but not
Absolutely, yes.
So God, I forgot to ask you, who, now that Danny went, who's your new MVP?
Well, it's
Woo!
obvious.
Is it
Is it
Xander?
Ricard?
It's not. Yeah.
Okay, because with with us having Deshaun and Ricard, it's kind of hard for you to pick one of them because then
But if Ricard had an idol, it would be Ricard, wouldn't it?
No. I went with Xander because I think Ricard won't win. I think he'll go home, and then I think Xander wins.
I want it
Yeah.
to be Ricard or Xander. Honestly, sorry, Jamie, but I just think both of
No,
them have
that's okay
played
because
really good
I've said
games
it
and they've
before.
been really
And we
amazing.
can talk
so
about who
happy with
deserves
these
to win.
three. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy with these three because if Deshaun gets it, I'm at least happy for the points that I get.
Yeah, right.
You know,
No, and Deshaun.
But I really, really would prefer Ricard or Xander
Yeah.
to get.
But here's the shocking twist for next week. I'm going to run out on the island with an hourglass with black sand and a hammer, and I'm going to bust it, and then the world is going to change, and Brad is going to be in the catbird seat to win,
We'll get
and
to
you
see
all will be like
Brad.
stunned.
You think Brad will have a makeover? We'll see.
I just love Brad. Why couldn't Brad have not been a douche? I don't get it.
Sometimes, you know.
He was
I
so good the first
Okay.
episode.
I liked that he was. I liked he was the right amount of douche.
I know.
Said no one ever. All right, so
Pinch.
I guess Friday?
Friday.
works.
Friday, okay. Friday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, same time.
And are we gonna stalk the mothership if they go?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hopping online.
Oh,
And
yeah,
we'll call it a crazy Hank hostile takeover of the
Hostile
chat.
takeover.
And we'll just like type paragraphs, right?
Yes.
We're wheeling in with our time turning sand and we're taking them down. Yep.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us again. Don't forget to make your picks.
Already
Well,
done.
An Amazing Race is starting January 5th. By the way, they're starting to drop the adverts for it, just so everyone knows.
I gotta have
I
the
have
next
I have never seen an episode of The Amazing Race.
What?
Not
That's like
one.
literally the only one I really thought I might actually be able to play. But
Never.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you play.
Are you gonna watch it? Are you gonna watch it? Please say you're gonna watch
I
this
could.
season.
maybe you should give it a try.
Yeah.
Try and just see because it's fun.
Is there anybody good on it?
We don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
yet, but sometimes there are.
I mean, I know there's Survivor and Big Brother alumni.
There's
that
all
did it.
no. There's always somebody who's likable. There's always likable teams.
Always, yeah.
And you get to see people just like panic and break down and have like arguments and be mean to each other
In the
sometimes.
back of taxis,
great.
freaking out because the taxi driver doesn't speak English and put him on the
Or
completely
the
wrong side of
people,
town.
or one partner is driving and one partner's supposed to be navigating, but the navigator they can't communicate. It's pretty great because like everyone's been there when that's happened
So
once. At least once,
fantastic.
right?
And then there's always one team that will just constantly do whatever they can to sabotage another team. It's good.
That sounds like a show I'd like.
It's very fun and fast
Well,
paced.
there you go. And Phil is completely lovable.
He
really
is. He is.
He's- Yeah.
He doesn't
he's-
yell or scream or robot at all.
I mean, his whatever dirty jobs thing or whatever this thing is that they're doing, he's doing tough as nails. It's like, it's fine. It's fine. But I like his Amazing Race. You know,
Yes.
he's a lovable
Here,
also. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end this, and you can follow us at our Twitter handles here. Subscribe down below, hit that bell so you can get
I
your
never get it right.
notifications and come and see us.
And we got to end this because we are seriously running long.
We're running long. That's what she said.
That's
Okay,
what
bye.
she said. All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.